Oh yeah. How's that angle? Yeah, it'll do. What's up, my Wobbuffet and Sprigatitoes? PokeDan here. Today's a boo-boo card of the day is, that'll work. Golark V. Yeah. You know it sucks. You know when you know you're a sucky Pokemon? When you're an Evolving Skies Altart and you're worth like $25. Zelda, get up. I'm about to sit here. Come here. Look at me. Look at me. Ooh. Look at this dog. Look at this fucking dog. All right. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. This video is gonna be exceptionally hard for me to make. Like, this is just 3 seconds in. This is already like my 4th or 5th take. I like to do everything uncut, unedited, whatever. The reason it's gonna be a hard video for me to make is because I'm gonna be talking about someone who I guess you could say I have a lot of respect for. Like, I don't like the person that much anymore. I don't view their content anymore. But at the same time, I learned a lot from this individual, like a lot. Like, I actually owe a lot to this person, at least for what little far that I've came in the Pokemon community, which, I'm a nobody now, but I used to be a complete nobody. So, stepping stones. And without watching this person's channel, there's just a lot of things he's very specifically in tune with. Mainly grading Pokemon, slabs, investments, profit margins, appreciation. This guy's a really good financial mind. So there's a lot of respect there. But at the same time, there's, oh man, when you live your life on the internet, which this guy does, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm talking about the Cardconimist. He's been ripping shipping for like 3 years, probably 2019. Started as the Game Economist. I think it was like Monster Hunter or something. He was just a dude in his 20s making ends meet, nothing special. And then he started streaming Monster Hunter. And I guess he hit some major success, kind of blew up. And I think he said he got up to 130,000 subscribers with Game Economist channel. And I guess the way the story goes is some of his viewers, like, Monster Hunter's probably going down, 2019, Pokemon going up. I'm assuming with all his new money he's getting from his Monster Hunter channel, he probably spent a lot of that on Pokemon cards. Perfect timing to do that. I'm just assuming this is how it went. Showed some of his slabs or whatever on his channel and Game Economist. People were like, hey, open up Pokemon cards. Now, here we are 3 years later. He created the Cardconimist channel. He's not even doing the Game Economist anymore at all. But over the last 3 years, this guy, he's been as authentic, as straightforward as, he's not a whatnot rip and shipper. He actually rip and ships on YouTube, so that's good. So yeah, if you have to gamble at a premium, which is what rip and shipping is, I guess he's as good as anyone and probably better than most of them. So I just want to give that credit out right now. Cardconimist, if you order from him, he won't scam you. He won't do any off the camera shit. So that's not what this is about. This isn't even about necessarily what you would think that it's about, because he's more or less in the Poke News lately. In case you haven't heard what happened just in the last few days, a long story short, PokeRev featured his No Hollow Dragonite error card, which I don't know if it's a 101 or something. It is the rarest Dragonite by far. It's one of the rarest Pokemon cards in Pokemon history. All it is the Dragonite without the hollow foil on it. It's the correct number, the Dragonite, yada yada yada. So it's a pretty cool card. So PokeRev featured it in some kind of top 10 coolest cards, whatever like that. The way it goes, and I take it at face value, and to extrapolate anything more other than what actually happened, I think is a bit silly. PokeRev either didn't cite him, didn't say his name, or at least didn't give the initial links to every individual's card that was shown. Cardconimist, he's a very social media popularity, dividends, clout. He's definitely a guy who loves his cards, his expensive cards, as much as you can possibly love your expensive cards, because they're not just expensive cards, they're like an advertisement for who he is as a human being. They're like, you know, here's my tops, whatever, freaking Charizard, only pop, here's the red one, here's the green one, I paid 30 grand for him, haha, let me show him off. You know, he's got a lot of crazy cards, and part of the reason he has a lot of crazy cards is because of this thing he refers to as social media dividends. So all it means by that is a really rare card. You post it on your Instagram, you post it on your TikTok, you get lots of followers, lots of likes, lots of comments. Social media dividends, makes sense, right? Okay, we're definitely going to talk about that and why, if you're so concerned with social media dividends, why haven't you been doing what I'm about to tell you you need to really do a better job of doing over the last 3 years? Because you're talking about social media dividends for like anything, any one card, it doesn't matter what it is. I can guarantee you, I know it will help you way more in the social media dividends category. So, I'm a tiny little fish. He may not even see this video. He's gonna watch this video. But in case he doesn't, I'm gonna formulate it in a way to where anyone who's like me, smaller than me, maybe a little bigger than me, whatever. What do I have, like 400, 500 subscribers? I'm tiny. This is, started out as like my 4th priority between all my social medias, my eBay store, place to dump longer form YouTube or longer form videos, because shorts are short, like a minute TikToks. It was just like a slab break, and now we're a couple months later. You know, it's like it's moving up the priority list. I would say I now value YouTube almost as high as my eBay store, and definitely my Instagram. Please give me a follow on Instagram. I love talking to people. I love talking about Pokemon cards. There's nothing I love more than just talking about Pokemon cards. Do that on Instagram. It sucks talking on YouTube. Okay, so anyway, Cardconimist. Man, okay. So what happened with PokeRev is, again, he didn't cite, he used the clip of him showing off the no holo Dragonite, but he didn't like accurately provide the link or whatever, okay? Like either on the TV screen itself, click, or in the link, the description below, whatever, okay? And bear in mind PokeRev is probably number 1 or 2 biggest Pokemon YouTubers in the entire community, like hands down, way up there. Cardconimist is more of a niche rip and shipper who's more about analytics, investments, and he does like slab. The one good thing I would say he does that maybe separates him from the rest of rip and shippers is you could do like a pay-as-you-go slab thing, you know, whatever, that's cool. I think his grading service is completely bullshit, a waste of time, and for him to say his grading service is anything more than like a merch shop to support the creator you like, being him, the Cardconimist, I don't think he should have ever gotten to the slab and grading at all. Like, I mean, CGC and Beckett, they have a hard enough time competing, you know, in SGC with PSA. Like, for you, all your hey misters, man, you know this, you know I'm right. Got a lot of younger people, a lot of people that are barely in the hobby, and for you to tell them that you slabbing their card adds any value at all, like at all, like I think that's wrong of you to do, like just straight up. And I know for the most part, sometimes you're like, yeah, you know, it's like a thing where it's like supporting your creator, buying a t-shirt, will buy a slab. But other times, man, I heard a lot of questions where it's like, dude, this is not like grading with PSA or anything. You're actually inconveniencing the person, because now they have to, you know, do a cross grade or slab break themselves to get a grade with PSA or a real company that actually would increase the value. And we all know, you more than anyone, you will never ever invest the amount of time, energy, and resources it takes to make your grading company like a real, actual, serious grading company. So you got to keep John employed. I get it. Oh man. Okay. So anyway, PokeRev didn't get him credit. This guy decides to put a time frame kind of ban like on that video, where it's like, hey, you have 12 hours to give me credit or a copyright strike, right? We're not going to get into the fair use. We're not going to get into any of that. We're not going to get whether PokeRev should have done more. Look, what I can tell you is PokeRev saw the issue, he fixed it as soon as possible, okay? For what happened, PokeRev did what he needed to do. End of story. That's that. So I got nothing against PokeRev for the way he handled it. He was like, look, my bad. We usually tag people in the comments below, yada, yada, yada. And whether you think that comments below is good enough or not, that, dude, if anybody is featured in any way on a PokeRev video, when you consider how famous he is and how tight-knit the Pokemon community is, you just gotta be so head in the sand to think you can get away with a copyright strike against somebody like PokeRev. Everybody loves PokeRev. You talk to them about it, you make sure it's taken care of behind closed doors. Like, there's so many better ways. And man, here's the thing, Cardconimist. If you would have heard what I'm about to tell you, say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when you actually started, you wouldn't even be in this situation right now, period. Like, this situation you're in with PokeRev, for better or worse, like, whether it's the way he handled it, the way you handle it, none of this would have happened if you even put an ounce of effort into what I'm about to talk about. And what I'm about to talk about, anyone who's watching this video, you got 50 subscribers, you got 1, you got 2, it doesn't matter. Just please learn from this guy's mistake. And to be honest, what I really want is for him to actually take this as constructive criticism. Because again, I owe this guy a lot. Like, I've written this guy, I think, on Instagram, like, paragraphs. Like, hey, I owe you so much, like, you've taught, like, and I don't think I got a response. Like, he's so busy constantly ripping shipping twice a day, day in and day out, that he has a lot of trouble keeping up with messages. His own doctor tells him he needs to just stop. Like, dude, just oh my God. You do not need to, it's not the Truman Show, okay? You can take a few days off. Holy shit. All right, okay. This acute issue with PokeRev is not your issue, Cardconimist. This is not your issue at all. The issue, and the only reason this is even an issue, period, is because everything you've done over the last 3 years, and by everything you've done, I mean everything you haven't done over the last 3 years. What you have done is created a very tight-knit little bubble of, hey mister, hey misters, hey mister, hey misters, okay? And what you haven't done is not once have you reached out to any of your peers, any of your fellow content creators, hey, great video, man, I like your stuff, that was awesome. And then maybe, you know, say it again, establishing a rapport with other people in the YouTube Pokemon community. Because when you establish friendships, establish relationships, like, just little shout outs here and there. Like, hey, I love your content. You're cool. Hey, Possum Bud, saw your video about that thing yesterday. Keep up the good work. I just messaged him that yesterday, today, I don't know. The point is, that's just a normal thing you do in the Pokemon community, is you reach out, you talk about stuff, you discuss, you trade ideas, Pokemon. You just, to be an introvert, to only care about your own clout, your own value in your own cards, your own little tiny system of monetizing a rip and ship in every damn which way you can, from drilling slabs, masked behind the dumbest pop reduction excuse I've ever heard in my fucking life, dude. Like, you probably don't even send the slabs, you know, the labels anyway. So even if you did acquire, I don't know, first edition DA or Butterfrees, like, let's say you spent $500,000, which would never happen, this is a hypothetical, and you drilled all freaking every single one of them, like, that just wouldn't ever happen. Like, it would take so many people so much money to all coordinate together. It'd be like a GameStop Wall Street bets kind of shit for drilling slabs. And then all, you know, it just, come on, dude. Like, all that is another mechanized way to make your rip and ship a little more entertaining and extrapolate money out of people. You know, maybe get some hate clicks, hate views, you know, because you're drilling a slab. I don't know. And by the way, if you're going to drill a slab, why would you just arbitrarily pick any part of the slab? Like, if you are going to do something that stupid, go for the head, man. Aim for the head. How a wiggly tough with a hole that becomes, right? Like, come on. All right. So anyway, you do a lot of goofy stuff, but I get it. You're one of the OGs, and I learned a lot from you. the overwhelming issue has nothing to do with PokeRev. It has nothing to do with fair use. It has nothing to do with what PokeRev should have done or shouldn't done. What it has to do with is over the last 3 years. I've been in this scene for 3 months and I've made more friends than you, dude. Like, over the last 3 years, you've been that old man on the rocking chair with the shotgun saying, "Get off my lawn!" You know? Like, let's be honest. And I respect where you come from. I respect that you didn't have the greatest situation when you were younger. You had to make it on your own. You ran away. You did what needed to do to where you are far more popular than maybe I'm sure I ever will be, let's be honest, right? And what do you own? 3 houses, a boat, a shitty jet ski, probably a few cars, $1 million worth of vintage Pokemon cards. Like, you're gonna be fine overall. But what I'm talking about is for the next year, 3 years, 5 years, as rip and shipping continues to go down the drain, right? Because what is rip and shipping? Rip and shipping is gambling, addiction, feeding at a premium. Tell me I'm wrong. Rip and shipping is paying a premium for something that is already inherently gambling. Okay? Like, and we already know this ain't COVID, where, I mean, your profit margins are so slim. Like, all you rip and shippers out there, you guys knew the writing on the wall and know what's going on well ahead of me, because I don't see the drop off in viewership, the drop off in market, the drop, blah, blah, blah. Point is, now we have eBay coming into the fray, and when you take how just dumb as shit, absolutely dumb as shit, the people who run WhatsApp are, like, oh my God, between all this stuff going on there and the lack of accountability from that company, to the fact that you just don't need to pay extra for Pokemon cards anymore, the fact that Pokemon cards are readily available, like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, rip and shipping is already inherently not the greatest thing as it is. Just that. You're feeding somebody's addiction. So, no matter what, you're going to be fine, even if rip and shipping isn't even a thing 3 years from now. Because to be honest, eBay will probably perfect that, and then it'll be like guaranteed or your money back by PayPal, let's be honest. And there'll slowly be fewer ripper shippers, but better, more reliable ripper shippers. And then the big guys like PokeRev, TCA, they'll rip and ship, but it'll be like special occasion things where it's like built up over a week or monthly or bi-weekly. And so that has its place. And if it's a bi-weekly, monthly, special occasion thing, you're not really spiraling addictions as you would if you're rip and shipping constantly, twice a day, every single day, day in and day out, right? It just makes sense. I think what I'm saying is like, duh, stuff. The bigger issue, again, is that over the last 3 years, you have put zero effort at all into being like, hey, good stuff. Can I be on your live stream? I love talking about Pokemon cards. Think you're cool, Pokeknowledge. Or like, you know, I don't know, maybe NostalgiaNomics, like, hey, I watched your thing about investing in slabs, like, you know, can I be on? Like, there's just so many people, there's like thousands of people in the Pokemon community. And I mean, even if you don't like people in general and you're an introvert, there's gotta be a couple that you could easily have kind of, you know, reached out, olive branch, whatever, and then you see their little, hey, Mr. Bubbles, and you introduce yourself to them on their channel, right? And then maybe tomorrow night on your rip and ship, all of a sudden some people from that creators, you know, now they're buying from you. All I'm saying is, you talk about social media dividends, right? There is no better social media dividend than, let's say, PokeRev featuring you on his channel. Like, maybe, you know, what if you were friends with PokeRev? Imagine that. Imagine how successful you would be if he actually liked you. Like, just imagine, like, if you put any, and PokeRev's like top of the top. It could be anyone. It could be Danny Phantamp. It could be, who knows, anybody. The point is, you haven't even looked. You haven't even cared to even think about that idea of like networking and reaching out and like just the community. You say you love the Pokemon card community, but you rip and ship at a premium, and that's about it. That's it. So you remember Leonhart, that guy? 2019, that guy was like Michael Jackson mixed with Kobe Bryant, mixed with, I don't know, it was a stupid way of putting it. But the point is, very, very popular was Leonhart, right? One thing I can tell you that was obvious is that Leonhart didn't put near enough effort into really reaching out to his peers, to other fellow content creators. He did not establish very firm relationships with others. Very rarely did he collab with anybody. And look where we're at now with Leonhart. That's where we're at with Leonhart. Okay, so to anyone who's not fucking Economist or Cardconimist, my advice to you, and dude, tomorrow's a new day and you got the rest of your life. You're younger than me. You got the rest of your life to be in this community, okay? And you have the cards to be in this community. You have the computer. You got everything. You have everything you need to be insanely like popular, loved, cool, you name it. You just gotta filter a little bit. Filter a little bit. Maybe not discuss everything under the sun, including every political thing imaginable. And, you know, don't be so, I'm right, you're wrong, actually. Okay? And just be a cool dude who's like, hey, I like your stuff. We should do something sometime, to some other YouTuber. I swear to God, that is social media dividends, my dude. Not your fucking no hollow Dragonite. Your no hollow Dragonite just got you deep shit. That's about it. Now PokeRev, instead of not knowing you at all, which over the last 3 years, he could have got to become friends with you to some extent, said now he doesn't like you and he'll never do anything with you. All because you decided to put up your big wall and just kind of be like, that's not right, I'm entitled. You're welcome, Pokemon community. That's another thing, man. I watched your response video to what PokeRev said and PokeRev's little response, and you're like, well, actually, thank you is what you all should be saying because now PokeRev will cite you. It's like, dude, anybody gets featured in a PokeRev video, they're shitting themselves in excitement. Like, yes, doesn't matter if it's cited appropriately or not. Like, duh. Like, come on, man. All right, you know what? That's all I got. Special shout out to Possum Bud who found himself in the middle of this. I kind of stole your thing with the card in the beginning. Cardconimist, man, this is coming. You know, I know you vaguely know who I am. I know that you know that I was a viewer of yours. This is coming from an actual good place. I am not kidding, dude. I said some really rude shit about you in a Possum Bud. I said some of the rudest shit I've ever said. I don't ever type on YouTube comments, and I was so angry, dude. Because again, you're like one of the first guys that I really looked up to. You taught me a lot of very educational financial stuff, and I think you just need to take a little less time streaming, a little less time ripping shipping, and a little more time just making general content that makes you more likable. And I think you need to actually try for once. I think you need to actually try to make some friends in the community. Peace out. What up, my Boba Fett and Sprigatito's? Today's Boo Boo Creator of the Day is none other than oh. Chansey!